Hello! So this is my first YouTube video and I'm not exactly sure how to do this or if this quality is going to be even good. I'm just doing it on my iPhone and I have it set up on my window because the lighting here is the best. So yeah, I'm just in my bedroom at my apartment. Here's my bed and then my closet. So it's not the nicest background, but it's the best lighting. So we're going to try it and go from there. So my name is Sarah Kirmeyer. I have a Instagram called kirmeyerkiddos. I think you can see my cat. Called kirmeyerkiddos, and I am student teaching right now. So I'm just kind of sharing my experience with student teaching and just helping anyone else who's interested in maybe becoming an early childhood education major, or if you're just into kids, or if you're really just bored and happen upon this video. So I'm thinking maybe I'll have to film an introductory video, which I probably should do before I post this one, but I kind of had this idea, so I'm just gonna roll with it. I don't know how long this is gonna be. I don't know exactly how much to put in this or how to edit, so we're just gonna work with it and try it. Yeah, if you have any advice, please message me or say something in the comments because I truly have no idea. I'll link my personal Instagram and my teaching Instagram in the bio, the comment section, I don't know, whatever that thing is. So I'm gonna begin. So I had an assignment called a teacher work sample. And with this assignment, we had to do 5 total, a minimum of 5 lessons on anything. And so my teacher, my co-op, she told me she wanted me teaching science and she told me to do parts of plants. So I'm going to share with you what I did for parts of plants. So I have some examples here I'll hold up. I'll try to somehow put pictures in the video, my hair tie, pictures up in the video if I can figure out how to do that, because I made a word wall and I don't have those with me. I have them up at the school. So I did take a picture, so I'll try to post that if I can figure it out in here. So to begin, the first day I had to do a pre-assessment, and this went horribly, like so bad. So I'm in 2nd grade, I probably should mention. And so this was my pre-assessment. And honestly, looking back on it, this definitely wasn't developmentally appropriate. But like in my head, when I think of pre-assessment, this is what I think of. And I know in all my classes that is not what we have learned. So I don't know why I did this. I just felt like I needed something like tangible that looked like a test, you know what I mean? So I had plant pre-assessment, and then I had draw lines matching the word to the correct sentence. So it's gonna be backward, but I had roots, photosynthesis, chlorophyll, carbon dioxide, oxygen, sugar, and fruit. And I had the definitions here, and I literally just wanted them to draw a match. I'm like, I don't know what you guys know. This is just for me to see what you know. And then at the bottom, I had them to label. So this is the master key, so obviously it's filled out. And then on the back, I had just tell me one thing you know about plants. And if I were to do this again, I would just have this be the pre-assessment. When I did the post-assessment, that's all I had it. I said, tell me one thing you learned. And so when I go through these, most of them really did not. So some of my kiddos still don't know how to read. So that was a struggle. So yeah, they all tried to do it. A lot of them broke down into tears, and so I was like, you know what, don't worry about it, which probably wasn't the best thing. But so I was like, just ignore the front, just do the back. I was like, just write one thing you know. And most of them did. There were a few that were blank, but a lot of them did give me something to work with, which was good, because that's all I really needed. I just needed some form of data for this assignment, and obviously for me to know like what I should do my lessons on. So the first day we did the pre-assessment, and then after that I made my word wall. So I brought in, I'll try to put it here. So I held up the word and I was like, someone tell me how you think you pronounce this. And then I called on someone, they sounded it out. Then we sounded it out as a class, and then I just read the word and I said, can anyone tell me what they think this means? And then so we did that, and that took a good like 20 minutes because I don't know how many words I had, maybe 10-ish, I don't know. But so yeah, so I had the word wall and we did that, and I hung them up, and it was really good and it was really fun, and we had good discussions. So that was day 1, and then day 2 we did, I think, yeah, we did the parts of the plant booklet, I think. So this was day 2. So this is my example, and then I'll put some of the kiddos here. So this is my example. It's what do the parts of the plants do. It's what the roots absorb water and hold the plant in soil. The leaves use the sun and air to make food for the plant. The stem brings water and food to the rest of the plant. The flower makes the seeds and the fruit. And so what we did is I had them all cut them out, and then I stapled them, and then we went through together and labeled them. And then we colored them and just kind of did that together. And the kids actually really liked it because they loved having like their own little book. And then the next one we did was, so I went out and I bought bouquets of flowers, and I found this idea, I think, on Pinterest. So day 3, we use real parts of plants. And so for this, I bought bouquets of flowers, and the whole goal of this is to categorize it. So I gave them each like 3 or 4 flowers, however many, and we cut them up. So we made a pile of stems, we made a pile of leaves, and there's a pile of the seeds and the flower and the petals. And so we cut them up and we categorized them, and we went through, and I was like, what does a leaf look like? And then we went around, what does the leaf do? And then I did the stem, and then all the other parts we talked about. And I was like, so what parts of the plant don't we see? Like the chlorophyll and the roots and like that kind of thing. And so this was my example, and it actually turned out so cute. So after you cut it up and like categorize them and we have that discussion, I gave them a piece of construction paper, and I told them, lay out, I was like, create your own flowers. Like, you can cut these up and you can make something beautiful even though they're all broken up. And so I had them lay them on their desk, and then I went around with the contact paper and I put it around it so they each got their own little masterpiece. And so I hung these up in the hall, and then I let them take them home. I only had them hung up in the wall for the week because I didn't know if they'd like go brown. These ones are still rocking it though. They still got all their colors and stuff. So hopefully theirs still look good. But yeah, so that was really fun. And then we went in and talked about, I was like, so is every part of the plant look the same? And everyone's like, no. And I'm like, are we all the same? And so we had a really good discussion about how like things are different, and that's okay. And like they all still work together. And I'm like, we're all so different. I'm like, we're all different ages, different heights, different colors, different sizes, everything. I'm like, but we all get together and we have these great discussions. We have fun. We play together. And it was just I was really proud with how they talked about it. It was really fun. And then so day 4 was the photosynthesis factory. And so this is what we did. Yeah, this was the original. And then this is what it turns out. So I began by, so I have this song, the photosynthesis song. I'll link it here if I can do that, or I'll have it in the comments. But it's this little girl singing about photosynthesis, and she has these background dancers. And let me tell you, the babes loved it. I think I played it 5 times that night, and then I played it the next morning, and then every science lesson we've had since then. They're like obsessed with it. And it is cute, but after a while I'm just like, you know, it's like stuck in my head already just talking about it. So I showed the video, and then I read this. It's called A Tree is Like a Hungry Kid, and it goes to talk about like how plants get hungry, and this is how they eat. And I'll just read a little bit of it. It says, what do you do when you are hungry? So I asked them, I was like, what do you do when you're hungry? And they all shared. And I said, if you're like many people, you probably like something sweet for a snack. And then I was like, who here likes something sweet? A tree is like a hungry kid because it needs food to grow, and it prefers sugar. It's not exactly the same sugar we find in candy and cookies, but it is a special kind called glucose. And so glucose is one of our words for the word wall. So I was like, sugar / how does a tree eat the food sugar? It doesn't even have a mouth. And part of the song, it talks about how plants don't have mouths, so how do they eat? And so it has a little recipe card for photosynthesis, and it's like everything it needs and stuff like that. So we went into talking about that. It was like ingredients, light energy, it comes from the sun, water comes from the soil, gathered by the roots, carbon dioxide comes from the air, and then the chlorophyll comes from the cells of the green plants. And then, so directions, mix the chlorophyll, carbon dioxide, and water together. And so before we talked about that, I was like, does everyone know what a recipe is? What do you use a recipe for? What recipes have you used? And we kind of talked about that. So yeah, I read that, and then I handed out the photosynthesis factory. And they did like this. They all get so frustrated. They have so much pressure on themselves, and I don't know why. So we cut it out together and glued it together, and then I let them color it on their own. Obviously, I'm like, I'm not going to tell them how to color. So, but they did have fun with that. And then for the last day, what did we do on the last day? So on the last day, I don't have it with me. I kept my example at school, so I'll put it here. So I got plastic cups, construction paper, pipe cleaners, and Play-Doh. And what you do is you make a little replica of a plant. So I passed everything out and we did it together and we labeled everything and everything like that. And so we did everything but put the Play-Doh in the stem to let it stand. And so I broke it up into 2 days. So we did that. And then on the final day, I had to do the post-assessment. So this was the post-assessment. I did it a lot less than the pre-assessment. I just did name one part of the plant and tell me its function. And I listed the parts of the plant. So they literally just had to pick one. And then at the bottom, I said, how are we similar to plants and how are we different from each other? Because I was just interested in that to see what their takeaway was with that part. And so the post-assessment went really well. The kiddos really, they all gave me something. Like every single one gave me something. And then we, once they finished their post-assessment, I was like, hand it in and I'll give you the Play-Doh to finish your plant. Because I thought that was like a little incentive for them to get done. Because I do teach right at the end of the day and I only have like half an hour. Sometimes I get 45 minutes if I ask to start early. And we're just usually rushed at the end. So I was like, let's do the post-assessment first so it's out of the way and no one's like spending so much time on it. And then they'd come up, I'd give them their Play-Doh and we'd stick their stem on and then I played the photosynthesis. So that was really fun. But yeah, so I don't know if this was good or not, but thanks for watching. I'll definitely do an introductory video soon if I'm feeling up for it tonight. If not, I'll do it tomorrow. But thank you.